All right, so our contribution is a study of a port passenger journey, and by that we mean the application of service design tools to capture the port passenger experience throughout the whole journey, meaning reaching the port, entering the vessel, and then leaving the port when returning. Okay. And the purpose is to analyze the experience of the port passenger, to identify pain points and pain gaps, that means problems in the customer experience, and to develop recommendations for the improvement of port services. So we collected real-time observations of the embarkation and disembarkation activities at one port location. And finally, we recommend technological solutions for the improvement of port services and for the improvement of the passenger website. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. This is the port of Piraeus. Okay, maybe we have been there. If not, you should. Okay, and take the boat to go to Greek islands. And so there are problems. The provision of services to maritime passengers and the quality of the travel experience has been somewhat neglected, I mean, in the literature, okay, and a little somehow undervalued by the researchers for many years. And here I have a reference. I have a reference to the impressions of Henry Miller, a very famous American writer, who wrote about visiting Greek port, not the port of Piraeus, in the 1930s. And I'll read the green text. It says, as we pull into the port with little boats, at that time there were boats coming to take off the passengers. Okay, so little boats come out to meet you. They are filled with passengers and luggage and livestock, okay, meaning sheep and goat, okay, and bedding and furniture. So the men start rowing, etc. So, and it continues. As the boats draw closer, as they draw alongside, a pandemonium sets in. Everybody gets the wrong way. Everything is confused, chaotic, disorderly. But nobody is ever lost or hurt. Nothing is stolen. No blows are exchanged. And this is a kind of ferment which is created by reason of the fact that for a Greek, every event, no matter how stale, is always unique. So what did he observe? He observed that there was no real organization, and everybody just went around doing whatever they wanted, okay, which is fine if you are visiting and you want a unique experience, but this leads to all sorts of problems. Okay, so there is a lot of we can discuss about where shall we leave the people to adapt to the situation, and where should we step in with design and arrange things. So this is our the site of our study. This is the embarkation disembarkations area at the port of Piraeus. And we applied a variety of tools to capture the user experience, knowing that today's passengers are empowered, meaning that they they believe that they can do things themselves. They don't expect everything from the service organization. They know the rights. They can access information. They can use e-tickets. They conduct quick trip planning or replanning. And at the end, they share their experience and opinions on the social media. Okay. So what was the object of the study? The study to see to what extent can real-time observations allows for the discovery of customer user behavior patterns. And pattern means what most people do, okay? Okay, and for the identification of problematic touch points or specific points in the customer experience, okay? And second, to what extent what are the main problematic touch points, and what technological solutions can be applied? So the methodology consisted of identifying the major passenger groups, studying the customer journey, meaning the sequence of actions from starting the journey to leaving, okay, and collecting direct observations. And so we identified for the first part of the study 4 personas, meaning 4 categories of passengers that differed, but by the mode of transportation and by the kind of ticket. So they had the vehicle, traveling with vehicle or without a vehicle, and they had the paper ticket or electronic ticket. And so we mapped their experience. Okay, we mapped their experience. This is very detailed. And this is in something like this. It's very, very detailed. I will zoom into this area here of embarkation, disembarkation. So this is the area, I will zoom at the area of disembarkation, not the time of embarkation. At the time of the embarkation, passengers without electronic tickets need to get their paper ticket from the ticket office, which is here. And then as a result of that, we found many problems. We found many problems because it is the way it is designed, the movement of passengers interacts very closely with traffic. So there is a certain feel of lack of safety, and it creates anxiety among passengers because they always need to negotiate the road with traffic. Okay. Then, after passengers take their ticket from here, instead of following the designated path to enter the line, which means going away from the entrance, okay, I'll make it bigger, okay. So instead of passengers, don't follow the designated path, which would have meant to go away from, this is the entrance of the boat, to go away from the entrance and to enter the queue from here. They go directly at the entrance, crossing the road and a not designated section, and then they walk against the line. Okay, so instead of going left and then right, they go right and then left. Okay, which creates many problems here because it's a very narrow path and there are many passengers crossing at the same time with cars and there is no designated area. So this is probably something that Henry Miller would have loved to see in Greece in the 1930s, but that creates a lot of anxiety and it adds to the confusion. Okay, I don't know of many accidents because I don't know if they're reported. Okay, so we observed all these things, and I'll give you an overview of the 3 phases. Okay, so in the pre-service phase means before entering the port. We studied the problems related to, or we benchmarked the website of the port with the websites of 5 other ports, and we found that, for example, the website of the port of Piraeus is not mobile compatible, or it has very low following. In the Facebook pages, there are just 119 followers, as opposed to 1,000 or more of the other ports. So based on this, we made these kind of recommendations, okay, to be port compatible and to include other features that can attract people to visit the site, okay, and to display the itineraries, to introduce live chat, to give information about Piraeus, etc. And to have videos, to have information about opening times, etc. So then at the in-service phase, to which I referred before, which includes arrival at the port, collecting a ticket, etc., I gave you an overview of the problems at the embarkation phase. And so based on this, we developed all these technological solutions, which includes, for example, introducing mobile digital displays that direct passengers, display information about the departure time, and introduce queuing technology so that besides these mobile signs, there are signs on the port pavement, which direct the traffickers. There might be also electronic boards, and dedicate an area close to Marlon. Separate the passengers waiting to get their tickets from the road. Dedicate an area where people can park temporarily to offload passengers or to offload luggage, or to anyway to stop temporarily for any way, and introduce self-service terminals here, which are designed to assist the passengers, like self-servicing kiosk, information kiosk, automatic tolls, so that people can do a number of these operations by self-service. And then at the post-service phase, we observed that there are many people who are, when the boat arrives, who are come very close to the entrance to welcome, to receive incoming passengers, which of course at that time, but they either block the entrance or so that you have two groups of people and traffic at the same time at the same area, meaning incoming passengers, people waiting for them, and the traffic, which include all of these create again what is pandemonium that Henry Miller was talking about. And so as a result of that, we introduced there also the suggestions of how to separate passengers from people waiting for them. So in conclusion, our study we studied the customer journey map for a number of people with different traveling options or ticketing options. We identified, we applied the direct observation of the servicescape, meaning the area where the services are applied. We identified problems, and we suggested technological solutions that refer both to the organization of the embarkation, disembarkation, as well as the improvement of the port website. And this is a research in progress. This is just the first part. We intend to take all the requirements, the custom requirements that we selected, and then run them against the preferences of port passengers, and run a Canon model to separate the must-have requirements or requirements that are not necessarily necessary, and prioritize requirements in any way, and then see what of these recommendations are priority, direct priority or secondary. Okay, thank you very much.